The most dangerous man in the room isn't the one who's failing. It's the one who's doing just fine. What's up, and welcome back to the Shape by Joseph channel, where I help high-performing men get in the best shape of their lives without sacrificing their passion. If that's you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and let's get right back into this topic because I think this is something that most men aren't told straight to their face. Here's what I want you to sit with for the next couple of minutes. You didn't fall into mediocrity. No, nobody falls into mediocrity. We get there by slow steps, little incremental moments that slowly get us to a point where when we're not careful, we build a life around it. And we decide that excelling and pursuing excellence and deciding to do things at a high level just isn't something that we do. And we slowly build into this before we even realize that the door has shut and we're stuck in this perpetual disaster that just continues to compile upon itself, and we don't know what to do by the time we realize it. And so that's what I want to take this time for, is to show you the things that this is actually costing you in life and how to start pulling yourself out of it. Here's what mediocrity actually looks like in a real man's life. It's the third week of saying, I'll get back into the gym next week. It's the 20 pounds that you've been saying you're going to lose for years now. Or maybe it's the same 15 pounds that you've lost and regained over and over again. It's the discipline that you had in your 20s that you decided was just a season of your life. And it's the goals that you've stopped saying out loud because when you say them out loud, it makes you feel like you have to do something about it. That's the drift. That is the cage building itself around you while you're too busy explaining why right now isn't the right time to start the change. Listen, I get it. Change is uncomfortable. And so it's something that we naturally want to avoid. But what I'm telling you is you need to stop avoiding it. Listen, I understand the pains of change. When I was recovering from my injury, it was not a comfortable moment. And it was so easy in that time of my life to decide to give myself a pass and say, you know what, you don't have to push hard right now. Let's just relax. Let's pull back. And I could listen to that inner dialogue trying to fight and give myself the easy way out. But I didn't get to where I am now by choosing the easy road. And it definitely wasn't the easy road when I looked at myself in that mirror, not recognizing who I was and realizing that I was a failure to myself and a failure to my wife and a failure to my family and a failure to my friends, because I truly believe that when we are not stewarding our bodies, when we're not taking this gift that God has given us, the body that we have, the life that we are to live, and we're not stewarding those well so that we can add to those around us, so we can add to our families, we can add to our friends. When we're not doing that and we're not prioritizing something as important and really as key as health and fitness, then we're truly wasting a good majority of our lives with mediocrity. Now, I don't share these things in my past to try and impress you. Oh, he almost died and broke his body and he rebuilt himself. Oh, he let himself go, and in the midst of being busy and pursuing a career, he rebuilt his body and built his business. I don't say that to try and get any accolades or for you to be like, oh wow, Joseph's amazing. No, I don't share that for those reasons. I share it because I want you to know that I understand what it's like to fight the desire to be mediocre. I understand what it's like to feel the desire to pull back and choose the easy way out and give yourself a pass in life because life is so hard. Listen, there are so many other stories that I can share from the past 8 years in my family's history of cancer diagnoses and grandparents dying and all of these things that would be so easy to just decide to give up, to not push, and life is hard. I understand that it is easy to want to pull back, and I hope that just some part of my story, some part of my experiences will help you in choosing the path that has been hard for me to choose. And that's to pursue excellence in all that we do. The Bible calls us to do all things to the glory of God, whether we eat, whether we're drinking, or whatever we do. And that is something that I really try and do in my life, that I seek to do, whether I'm lifting weights, whether it's my nutrition, whether it's the time I have with friends and family, whether it's the business that I'm growing and the people that I help in this business, my clients. I try and do it all to glorify God. And I hope that's something that would encourage you and to muster up this energy and this momentum and this desire to do things with excellence. Here's what seeking comfort over hard work is costing you. This is what this idolatry of leisure and comfort and me. How do I have entertainment and relaxation and how do I just enjoy each and every moment? Because let's be honest, being disciplined isn't always the most enjoyable thing. I think when you are disciplined, you unlock a very enjoyable life. But in the process of certain moments, it's not always the most enjoyable thing. And so this is the moment where it's easy to say, okay, I hear you, but I'm not that bad. And so I want you to just listen for a moment, stay tuned, and hear me out. When you drift physically, you don't just lose your physique. You're losing energy, you're losing confidence, and when these things are impacting you, you are literally taking away life from you. And I truly believe that the man who starts losing respect for his body starts losing respect for himself in so many other areas of life. The way you treat your body and the way you steward this one body that God has given you is a direct reflection of how seriously you take this one life that God has entrusted you with. And that's not condemnation. That is me calling you out to be a steward of your body. And that reaches past you. That bleeds into your marriage and your relationship with your partner and your stewardship of your body in that relationship. And the energy you have to play with your kids and to pick them up and hopefully future grandkids to be able to play with them and to continue on and have strength in older age. And the truth is, when you stop pushing physically, you don't have the same capacity. And typically the people we love most are the ones who see it before we do. And typically they're too shy, they're too sweet, they're too reserved to point it out. In the stewardship of your body, you're not meant to manage the smaller version of yourself. You're meant to build and to grow and to push past limits and to excel and to pursue excellence in what you do. So here's the truth. Mediocrity doesn't require a dramatic change. You don't need to uproot every aspect of your life and go crazy and start this and start that and move and do this. You don't need to do that. It takes one decision, one realization. It's not a resolution. It's not this piece of motivation that we need to hold on to. It's a decision. It's a decision that says, this is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. It's the decision to say, you know what? I see the path that I'm going down, and I am going to choose one thing to start putting my time and attention to. And as I get used to that one thing, I'm going to start this second thing. And we slowly build upon it. It's nothing dramatic. It's a step-by-step change. And when you actually do that and you put consistency to it, you're going to see crazy change. You're going to see an absolute revival of who you are. And that mediocrity starts to slip away. And this desire to pursue excellence starts coming in more. And before you know it, you start to not recognize yourself. You don't remember who you used to be, and you're starting to see someone you didn't know you could become. And that's exactly what it came down to for me. It wasn't a program. It wasn't a coach. It wasn't an exact game plan for, okay, this is exactly what I have to do. No. It came down to a moment of me looking in the mirror and saying, no. No. That's not going to be who I am. That's not me. This is not the man I rebuilt from falling 3 stories off a cliff. And I am done being the man who looks at this, or really when I was avoiding looking at that and saying it's okay, this just isn't my season of health and fitness. No. It doesn't take dramatic change. It doesn't take this motivation. It just takes honesty. It takes honesty to look yourself in the mirror and say, that is not the man I want to be. And I'm going to take small steps into being the man that I will be proud of. Here's the principle that I want you to take from this. Mediocrity is not a destination, it's a direction. And the good news is, so is excellence. They're both directions towards a destination that you are working towards achieving. The man who is just coasting through life, he's descending in life. But the man who chooses discipline, the man who chooses, even in the small things, to be disciplined and to do certain things to promote growth in his life, that man is ascending. And the choice is yours. What direction are you going to take? The direction of mediocrity or the direction of excellence? Are you going to live life for yourself? What pleases me, what leisure, what comfort, what entertainment just lives up to my desires of this mediocre life? Or are you going to choose excellence and choose that whatever you do, whether you eat or you drink or whatever you do, that you're going to do it all to the glory of God, that you're going to pursue that excellence as if you were living this life for God? Because here's the fact. We are meant to live this life unto the glory of God, no matter what we're doing. Write this down if you need to. There is no neutral. I'll say that again. There is no neutral. You are either drifting or you're building. The choice is yours. So what do you actually do with this? What is the next step? What is the application to not being mediocre and choosing excellence? It's not me giving you a 10-step process, that's for sure. Instead, here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to name where you have been the most comfortable in life recently. Where are you finding it so easy to just pull back and relax and not give yourself to the things that you should be giving yourself to? Most men can figure this out pretty quickly. It's the training, it's being in the gym, or maybe it's the nutrition, or maybe it's the leadership at home that's become passive. And I want you to find that, and I want you to name it out loud, even if you have to. Secondly, I want you to do the thing that you've been postponing. Whether it's a multiple step process, I want you to do the first thing that starts to accomplish that thing that you've been avoiding, that you've been pushing away, that you've chosen to pursue mediocrity in. And instead, let's start towards excellence by starting whatever habit it is that has been missing. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to plan it out fully. In fact, I would recommend that you don't take a moment right now to plan it out fully. I just want you to get one rep in. That first rep is always the hardest rep. And so I want you to get that in and just start the process. And I know that as you start to choose to be disciplined in this one area of life, then that discipline is going to multiply and it's going to grow, and you're going to find yourself disciplined in other areas of life. I've seen this in my life. When I am locked in my programming, when I'm eating the nutrition that I'm supposed to, when I'm doing the workouts I'm supposed to, and I'm there in the gym at the time that I've planned to be there, my Bible time is better. My prayer time is better. My time with my wife is better because everything has structure around it. And you're slowly going to see that as you start to be disciplined, it is going to multiply and it's going to grow and it's going to spread. The comfortable cage feels safe. And it feels safe because it's familiar. But it is important to note that familiar is not the same as good. Familiar is just what you've gotten used to. And you were not designed to get used to less than what God has called you to do. And so today, I want you to name that cage. Put a name to the cage that has built itself around you and take one step out. One step, that's all it takes. You didn't fall into mediocrity. You walked there. But the good news is you can walk out. It's time to take that next step, that one step, the first step out of that cage. Because that's all it takes. Because it's time. It's time to let the man that God has designed you to be out of the cage. Stop pursuing mediocrity and start pursuing excellence unto the glory of God. This has been the Shaped by Joseph channel. It is so great to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on that notification button. I look forward to talking to you again in the future videos.